Harmless prank to prankless harm. The tale of two neighbors.
This happened over the last 3 weeks and the dust is finally settling, so I can now share the absolute circus my life has become. The setup. I live in a terrace house with a tiny backyard. My neighbor, let's call him Dave, is a nice guy but an incredibly intense, over-the-top gardener. He treats his lawn like it's center court at Wimbledon. I, on the other hand, am a chaotic person who just bought a cheap 3D printer because it was on sale. 3 weeks ago, I successfully printed my first object, a tiny 2-inch tall plastic goose. I didn't know what to do with it, so I reached over the fence and hid it inside one of Dave's meticulously trimmed prize-winning topiary bushes. Just a little harmless prank. The escalation. The next day, I looked out the window and saw Dave staring at the bush with a magnifying glass. He looked confused, then smiled, took a photo, and left it there. My goblin brain took this as an invitation. Every night for the next week, I printed a new item. A tiny frog wearing a cowboy hat. A miniature Shrek. A hyper-realistic 3D scan of a single potato. A tiny folding chair. I crept out at 2 a.m. and hid them in his garden. By day 6, Dave's wife, Sarah, was posting on our local neighborhood Facebook group. To the anonymous artist leaving the miniature sculptures in our garden, you have brought so much joy to Dave. He has been going through a stressful time at work, and every morning he goes out to find the daily blessing. Thank you, whoever you are. I felt like a benevolent god. I was curing depression with biodegradable PLA plastic. But then I got cocky. The climax. I decided the grand finale would be a 4-inch, highly detailed bust of Danny DeVito spray-painted gold. I hid it right in the center of his birdbath. The next morning, I woke up to shouting. I looked out the window. Dave and Sarah were in the garden, and they were screaming at each other. I opened my back door to listen. Sarah. Dave, this is getting ridiculous. It's not an anonymous artist. Look at it. Dave. It's a masterpiece, Sarah. It's modern Dadaism. Sarah. It's Danny DeVito. Dave, be honest with me. Are you having an affair with a 3D printing enthusiast? Is that why you've been waking up at 5 a.m. smiling at your phone? Apparently, Dave had been so happy about the figurines that Sarah's anxiety convinced her he was getting secret gifts from a secret lover. Dave, trying to defend his anonymous art savior, refused to let her throw them away, which only made him look more guilty. The fallout. I realized I had to intervene before divorce papers were filed over a golden Danny DeVito. I walked over, knocked on their door, holding a half-finished bright pink 3D printed Yoda. I confessed to everything. The silence was deafening. Sarah looked at the Yoda, looked at me, a disheveled guy in sweatpants, and then looked at Dave. Sarah burst into tears of relief. Dave looked like I had just told him Santa Claus wasn't real. The magic was dead. He looked at the golden Danny DeVito in his hand, then looked at me and said, "Wait, so you're not a collective of local art students?" "No, Dave. I'm just an idiot with too much free time and bad sleep hygiene.